Good morning. Welcome back to Sitting with Ashley. We had a slow morning today and I needed it. It's 9 o'clock. But here we are for reading. I want to do a little bit of something different. Oh, I think I'm going to use those for something else. Today's a Scorpio full moon and I was thinking we could go a little deeper today. So let's do some cosmic past life energy. You know what, let me go ahead and get the Akashic records. We're probably going to need them. I'm going to try and keep this at 20 minutes. So if you clicked on this and you don't have that time, and maybe, 10-15 minutes afterwards to process, maybe come back when you do have that time, because we're going to try and go deep and talk about the heavy. It's not something to be avoided, it's something to be integrated. Alright, yesterday I planted my seeds in the garden. I was inspired by the collective reading, planting seeds. I don't think I even did any greens. I did a lot of herbs, and I did some other stuff. We'll see. I don't have a lot of sunlight coming in where I have my garden because of the dogs. So, we'll see. Maybe you're feeling inspired to also do some gardening and whatnot. That's way too fucking many. Okay. Alright. Okay. What is that from? It's Macklemore something. Okay, we have a lot of energies for past life. So, now that the weather's getting warm, I'm just going to be wearing bikinis. And I wanted to tell you, I'm not naked. I'm wearing a bikini top. I got myself a lot this year. This one's like nice and lacy. Anyway, alright. Let's go. So this is a past life deck. So we're going to be bringing up some themes that could have been things that you, maybe you have like astral travels around, or maybe you have some weird phobias in this life, because of some things that happened in past lives. If you do not believe in reincarnation, this is probably not the reading for you. If you've never heard of past lives, I'm not trying to be exclusive. I'm just trying to make sure that this message is getting to the correct audience, without causing psychosis in anyone. Okay? Alright, we got an even number. We have 15 cards. It's an odd number, technically. But as far as the grid goes, it's even. Every row and column is full. Okay, so here we go. Military, infantry, Navy, Air Force, weapons development. I think I'm going to do columns just because it doesn't really matter. Well, no, never mind. This one checks out better. Murdered. Murder. Murderer. Murdered. Witness. Suicide. Diet, gluttony, vegetarianism. Why is that an ism? There's nothing wrong with being a vegetarian. Nutritional or food issues, fasting or deprivation. Right now what we're seeing is a war of famine being used. So it's causing lots of death in this current time. So if you're maybe extra triggered by what's happening around the world, what you're seeing in Gaza specifically, I actually just saw Miss Rachel say something, was being interviewed about why she's not staying silent, and it brought me to tears. So maybe you're feeling things about that. That's normal. Your soul is intact. Congratulations. You are part of the minority on the planet, I would say. Reverent, mystical, extremist. No, we're the majority. Evangelical, religious devotion. You know what these are for you. These are collective readings. So if something resonates, not everything needs to resonate. A few things could resonate for you, and for others, we'll do some more connection. Children, fertility, loss, infertility, and illegitimacy. Maybe you're experiencing, or you know someone who is experiencing a pregnancy outside of marriage or something, and because of religion, That's something that's a difficult topic. I'm just giving examples so that you know what resonates. Communications, writer, messenger, publisher, and scribe. Maybe you're being called to journal through some stuff. Rural living, woodsman, hunter, peasant, and farmer. Maybe you're living a simple life or trying to get back to the root or nature. Same, sort of. Simpler than others. Truth seeker, questioning of authority. Right on. Spiritual questions, investigation, and spying. This is a good channel if you are doing any of that. I like to connect real world colonialism. We do decolonizing over here, but I like to connect what's happening with spirituality outside of religion. So maybe, again, this is something that you are learning about, leaving the church, deconstructing what the church has told you. In my opinion, spirituality is your own personal relationship to whatever it is you believe in. It's not based in any sort of doctrine. It's just what feels right, what feels, we all have intuition. We all have an innate connection to source, whatever that source, whatever culture you are from, or whatever religion you believe, or whatever that source is for you. I also work under the umbrella over here of to each their own. Everything is valid. I understand the cultural implications and cultural practices from all over the world and how those look different. And we don't discriminate any of that over here. I really should have taken my rings off. My hands were really dry though. Okay, we have technology, use of technology, technological disaster, technological practice, abuse of technology. So that's what we're seeing right now. We're living through that. I'm not sure a lot of people are awake to that, but the way that the internet is controlling us, pathologizing us, categorizing us, and now with the use of AI being programmed to use surveillance instead of, what it could be, right? I often think of technology with a better future, the way that Black Panther kind of does that with the use of technology, but also being a part of nature. So Wakanda, in that setting. I haven't seen the second movie, but I'm speaking to the first one. With the planes, UFO. I don't know what you call that. The air technology, transportation. Anyway, oppression, religious, oppressor, domestic, and social. Maybe you are currently working through the ways in which you support the system of oppression for others. It's very real. The system is put that way to make us go against each other. That's not a personal flaw, but once you know better, you do better, right? And a lot of people want to join the system to change it from within, but maybe you're getting to this point where, I'm in this school of thought, which is why I'm sharing. I believe not doing that, not entering in to a system that's already made to work that way. I believe in building outside of that system and creating alternatives alongside. So maybe that's something that you're learning about too, or feeling called to do, especially right now. It feels like we're on a highway, and when you get to a city and they're the next 5 exits are this city. It feels like we're coming up on that last exit for this city. And if we don't take this exit, we're not going to this city. It's an analogy for, a better world, okay? We have burned, house fire, branding, persecution, and book burning. Maybe you have clan people in your lineage. Maybe you were burned at the stake in a past life, myself included. if you have like an irrational fear of fire, or maybe like a fascination with fire, it can go on either way. There may be something about fire in your past life. So also, if any of these you get like a visceral reaction in your body, like your heart starts beating, or like you start sweating, or you get goosebumps, or if your nervous system is trying to communicate with your body at a large when you're hearing one of these or some of these, that's probably the one for you. Okay, so look into that further, explore that with curiosity, not judgment. Okay, whatever happened in a past life doesn't really make you who you are by any means. It's just, in my belief, past life karma is incurred, and then when we become reincarnated, we have those lessons, and sometimes we get like these little hints about how we may have known that information or experienced that, or why does that resonate, things like that. So this is just to help you with that process. Imprisonment. Imprisoner, escaped, imprisoned, and freed. Maybe you're like liberating yourself from self-limiting beliefs or any other sort of shackles, whatever they are for you. Remember that once you liberate yourself, to turn around and support others as well. That's how the world keeps turning. Alright, we've got swindler, perpetrator, exposed. What is this a picture of? Swindled and evaded capture. What is that? There's like a mask, but I'm not sure what this thing is. There's is that money? Interesting. Okay, my son's gonna come in here and ruin everything. Alright, and then we have extraterrestrial. You may feel like a starseed or maybe something like that resonates with you. Be careful with some of that, because a lot of the right alt-wingers have kind of co-opted that language to mean other things within supremacy. But either way. Close encounter, off-worlder, watcher or guardian, early earth dweller. So maybe you have experienced that. Maybe you're in communication. Maybe as you waken up to your spiritual gifts, other beings are visiting you. No, you're not fucking crazy. Humans are not the only ones on the planet or in the universe, okay? And humans are very limited in our abilities because of the systems of control, alright? Nature worship, pantheism, Druidism, animalism, Franciscan mysticism. Maybe you're a pagan or a Wiccan, or maybe you're exploring more nature-based ways of being. I don't know what it is for you. I want to pull a few from the Cosmic deck. So that's all of the past life energies. There's no way in hell this is going to be a 20-minute reading. It's probably going to be closer to 30, so I feel like this was a pretty deep topic, and I pulled way too many past life cards, so I want to make sure we go deep enough to actually do something, okay? I'm going to pull one energy for each of these columns, so we'll get 5 of these, okay? Maybe that will give us some insight. The way it's organized on my table doesn't need to be the way it's organized for you with your life. You know, maybe you were an extraterrestrial, rurally living, and someone came and murdered you, or, you know, maybe you are, I don't know, whatever it feels like. You know what it is for you. Okay, this is taking too long. I'm going to go ahead and pull from the top. We've got prayer. Prayer is a dialogue with the universe. Express your wishes. If this is resonating with you, maybe you want to like learn more, go deeper. Okay. We have trust. Trust your intuition. The universe guides you. So in times where this may feel a little heavy, prayer, trust, call on what you believe, or passed on loved ones, or ancestors, or angels, whatever it is. I do a lot of shorts right now that also helps us stay in that vibration, so check some of those out. Insight. Insight is the fruit of wisdom. Keep a learning attitude. think that's the thing too. We're not here to criminalize anything or like reopen any unhealed wounds. We're just here to be curious about stuff. Safety is the foundation of life. Cherish the calm moments. And communication. Effective communication is the bridge to understanding and connection. That's coming out right above children. So maybe you are a cycle breaker for your lineage. Maybe you're communicating differently than others have in the past. I'm going to let you know this one, just I'm not pulling it, but awareness, maintain awareness, and be present in every moment. Again, the reason that we do these past life things is to ensure that we don't have to come back and learn the same lessons. You know, I believe that life is, like us being alive on this planet, is very much lesson based. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but because of my own path, that's what I believe. I've conquered a lot of lessons, and every time I have, it's been another step up into the alignment of my own. Again, if that doesn't resonate with you, I'm getting really hot. So if someone's feeling embarrassed right now, it's okay. You don't need to feel like that. I feel embarrassed, like mortified. That feeling of hotness. Adrian, Yoga with Adrian always says, welcome the heat. Maybe this is premenopausal hot flashes. I don't know. I don't think it is, because I'm a channel. But anyway, whatever you're feeling embarrassed about, maybe you've been, what was I saying? Maybe you've been repeating cycles. Oh, I was talking about like learning lessons and growing. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing that, especially if you are someone within religion. Religion just is coming out too, so I'll take it. I think religion, in my opinion, does a lot more harm than it does good. I don't care what denomination you are. I'm talking about as a whole. I mean, religion's the reason for so many of these things. Military, war, burning, imprisonment, swindling, children, oppression, you know, the removal of nature worship. You know, in the middle of everything, we have truth seeker. Like, literally in the fucking middle of the reading. And above that, with the cosmic energy, is insight. Insight is the fruit of all wisdom. Keep learning attitude. And with safety and trust and prayer, you're safe to explore this. You're safe to explore this. I wouldn't, if you know your family wouldn't be receptive to, you know, hearing about it, I wouldn't tell them. My family was never receptive of me sharing this kind of knowledge, and I ended up in mental institutions and a whole lot of stuff because of the people around me. So I would say, you know who to trust, you know who not to. We had 3 come out. Angels. Yeah, this is very much religion-based. War and battles. And throat chakra. A lot of us who do seek the truth, and that's another thing, the truth is, in my opinion, different for everyone. I got into it with my baby daddy at one point, and it made me realize that we had like very, like, I thought we were pretty aligned like philosophically, but the conversation was around how there's only one truth, and that was his opinion, and I was like, I don't believe that there's only one truth. I believe every single one of us have our own truth. You know, which is why war and battle happen, because people can't see eye to eye, or they choose not to. And I think within this, when we are expressing our truth, right, whatever's resonating with you, as you dive deeper into it, as it becomes, you know, a part of your awareness of self, a part of your own truth, you're going to be expressing it. And we do have writing here. In like this oppression card, her mouth is masked, right? I mean, we've all lived through that in the past few years, of that visual of being blocked, of masked, right? I think that was as much psychological as it was about health. It was a very intense thing to witness, and I mean, I didn't really mask. because I chose to quarantine instead. And Niall and I we didn't really mask. But if I did have to, for me it was a very psychological warfare thing where it was just like being silenced in the face of adversity, right? Like nothing we could do. Yeah, truth and justice. So that's the point of exploring past life stuff. Okay, we're at 20 minutes. I've pulled all the cards. Just let me end it on a couple. We have truth seeker, truth and justice, and trust. There's a lot of butterflies here. Butterflies speak to transformation. And again, I believe that's why we're all here, is to learn and grow. I always say we're like the trees. We grow always, like all the time, right? Whatever you believe in, religion and angels don't have to be based within some sort of written document or doctrine. I'm speaking to, the Torah, the Bible, whatever. You're allowed to go outside of those written texts for anything in life. Again, speaking to this book burning, right now what we're witnessing, I just talked about this in a collective coffee, I think with the, I've been doing those more often lately. But I was talking about the way that the schools were going to be, moving. Oh, it was the Library of Congress one. I don't think I labeled it that, though. Was it the Logistics for Civil War? I don't remember. Anyway, in the past week, I've uploaded a couple collective coffees, and we were talking about the woman at the Library of Congress getting fired and what that was going to look like in regards to books being pulled, and things like that. So within text, you're allowed to explore what feels right to you, right? Whether it's within religion or whether it's outside of religion, within spirituality. Spiritual questioning with this truth seeker. Reconnect to nature. Nature is very much alive, okay? This is interesting too. Call on the angels. If you don't know about the archangels, Archangel Michael is here to protect. You have to be aligned to work with him, but you can call on him, and if you're not aligned, you'll receive lessons to get there. But he offers protection, and I'm speaking to this because we have the angel wings, and then in this hand is a little feather. So if you see feathers today or this week, while this is present, or if you're ruminating in this energy or thinking about past lives or thinking about, stepping outside of your religion or your family or, oppressive things that are existing, or thinking about whatever these things, and you see a feather, that's confirmation for whatever it is that you are entertaining. But I don't mean that in like a condescending way. So like, say I'm just taking a walk, and I would do nature walks to allow the universe, the earth, other powers to speak to you. Nature walks are a great way to do so. Pay attention to what nature is doing around you. Pay attention to the rocks. This is a piece of petrified wood. I live near the petrified forest, and this was in my alley, and I had to fight some ants for it, but this is like an incredible piece of petrified wood, and I leave it right here to help us stay grounded in this place and space and reality, because I am not native to this land, right? I have a lot of rocks. Maybe you want to start working with crystals, flowers, water beings, fish. Maybe you want to like start looking into mermaids or whatever, or like just researching some of like the crazy things that live in like the bottom of the ocean. I don't know, whatever it is for you, whatever feels right. Allow yourself to explore without judgment, again, with curiosity, with childlike wonder. And know that whatever hardships you're facing right now in your reality, and I'm not talking about at a systemic level, I'm talking about within yourself, if you're feeling bad about yourself, if you're struggling through some behaviors or habits or interpersonal relationships within your family, or people close to you. With this reading, the intention is to have a different lens to look at those issues through, right? This is to offer you insight, to better your communication with yourself and those around you. You know, maybe you have negative self-talk. You know, suicide is here. Maybe you have depression or suicidal ideations, or, you know, whatever that is for you, you're being encouraged to kind of pull back your... I mean, I'm getting like a little bit of victim mentality, but like that's very normal. So like pull back from that. Like don't be so... Don't put yourself so like in it. Like pull back, and recognize different patterns and different things and different triggers, and use those as a navigating tool to either be curious about things or to just understand yourself better, and accept what feels true for you, no matter what anyone else thinks. Just because you think it's true for you, again, doesn't mean it's not. Just because other people have different beliefs doesn't mean that yours are invalid. I think that's the most important thing, because a lot of these energies have that presence, right? We are all experts of our own experience. When I heard that for the first time, it was an absolute game changer for me, because I was like, yeah, we do, and we are. And just because you haven't experienced something, you know, again, in this life or in a past life, that others have, doesn't mean that you can't have compassion or understanding or empathy or, you know, questions about that, right? Like if you're in an evangelical Christian family and your family is like, no other religion is okay, but you really want to learn about, you know, Islam, because why is everyone in the planet attacking them? Like, what's going on? So you buy a Quran and your family finds out, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm not reverting, I'm just learning, right? Things like that. We do have communication here twice, with both of these, so there's a lot of education-based energy here. So again, meet it with curiosity. You don't have to accept anyone's truth, even people in your family. You're allowed to be different. I'm the black sheep of my family. You're allowed to be different. And if you've never heard that, I'm here to tell you. You absolutely, I mean, we're not all supposed to be doing the same thing. A lot of us are here in these times to change it up so that humanity can stop doing these demonic cycles of, you know, war, burning, imprisonment, oppression, right? There's other ways to exist. And we are all given certain images and visions and skills and talents to implement that stuff, to anchor that in on the planet. And so I hope this helps you do that. If this was resonating with you and you want to explore more, I do have I do collective readings all the time. I would say check out any of those. They're labeled pretty accurately to what the reading was. Sometimes I'm a little broad, but also there's a what's your calling reading, and then I have lots of how to do inner work readings. I can't get this card deck to go in the space it's supposed to. It's not fitting. That's gonna, oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, just you're welcome over here, and we're all about doing things differently, you know, what makes sense. We don't always have to do things the same way, and don't be afraid to change it up. And I'm going to leave you with these two to inspire you. Be a little different. Be a little crazy. All right. Love you. Bye.